Hey, everybody, and welcome to Internet Roundup. I'm Chuck, and this is Josh, and this is the rodeo.
Yeah.
This is what we do every week, in addition to the Stuff You Should Know podcast here in our studio.
We have to.
Where we pick out our favorite things on the internet and share them with the world.
Yeah, we round the internet up.
That's right.
In our internet clubhouse on the web.
That's right. And this week, I have a story out of Australia, because we love our Aussie fans.
Is it? Because it's on a New Zealand website.
Oh, it is both.
Okay.
Because it says in here that these lollies are sold in both Australia and New Zealand.
Gotcha.
But apparently there's a lolly, and if you'll see this photo of this poor kid, Lachlan Canuck, look at that thing. That came from eating candy.
Yeah.
Candy that you sell to children.
Specifically Warheads, extreme sours. 7
years old.
Yeah.
And it said that he was from Sydney. That's what I thought, but he may have been in New Zealand at the time. But they're, like you said, marketed as extreme candy by a U.S. company.
Yeah, Warheads. You've heard of Warheads?
I've never heard of Warheads.
What?
So you know this?
Sure.
Oh, see, I didn't know this.
I didn't know that they made candy that was so sour that it would damage your tongue.
Right.
But apparently they make it with something called malic acid.
Yeah.
Which is a type of acid.
Apparently a type of acid that will eat into your tongue if you keep it there long enough.
Yeah, and if you look at the Warheads Extreme Sour package in fine print, it says if you eat a bunch of them in quick succession, you could damage your tongue, you could get blisters in your mouth, like it could do a little damage.
Well, it says temporary irritation to sensitive tongues. To me, that's a little bit like saying, oh, that's your fault.
Right.
For having a sensitive tongue.
Or also temporary irritation, just like, oh, my tongue is a little irritated. Right. Not like I can't eat. Apparently this kid's mom or parent had to blend up his dinner.
Yeah.
And he still had trouble eating it that night.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. It's a hole in his tongue. And basically a lot of parents are pretty upset about this, obviously.
Yeah.
And one dad made a good point. He was like, no one should have to read a candy label's fine print to see if it would damage their body.
Although there's a mushroom cloud on the package, and it is called Warheads.
Oh, yeah, there is a mushroom cloud.
So, I mean, there's a lot of warning signs that you can take, but I think people just think, well, it's candy, so it's fine. But no. And as a matter of fact, there's a whole thing on YouTube, the Warhead Challenge.
Yeah, apparently, I don't know if it's sanctioned by the company. Probably
no,
not.
I think it's not.
But it says fans undertake the Warhead Challenge, during which they eat as many of the lollies as they can tolerate.
And then post it on YouTube.
So it must not taste great.
I don't know. It depends on if you like sour stuff.
I used to like the occasional sour candy.
This is sour stuff.
But I don't eat candy at all anymore.
What happened to you?
Like, you grow up. If you're eating Warheads as a 43-year-old man, you got problems.
That's all right.
Besides a hole in the tongue.
I disagree.
You like candy still?
Sure.
I mean, I like chocolate, candy bars, but not like candy.
I like candy.
All right.
Except Smarties. Not big on Smarties. Or Necco wafers. What are those?
I don't even know.
It's gross.
I've heard of it.
Old-timey, like, chalky candy. And I'm sorry to the people who make Necco wafers. Like, I know that you're proud of it, and you've been at it for well over 100 years.
Sure.
Maybe even 150. I personally just don't like Necco wafers.
It's like that blackjack chewing gum. What's that all about?
Yeah, anything black licorice I don't like.
No.
But, and they don't make it any longer, I don't think. You know the Good and Plenty's, the black licorice candy?
Yeah, I was not into it.
I wasn't either. But they used to make something called Good and Fruities, which was red licorice candy.
Don't like that either.
It was the bomb.
Yeah, I'm not into that. My wife loves
Twizzlers.
Can't remember. It's either Twizzlers or Red Vines.
They're different, but you could like both.
Yeah, I'm just not into licorice, I think.
Yeah.
Sue me.
So up next, Chuck.
Yes.
We've got something from Threadbare, which is apparently a blog from the early 2000s that's still around.
Uh-huh.
And there's this post called, "There's a reason why the word macrame rhymes with scare away." So I guess rhymes, whatever.
Yeah.
But the Threadbare post puts together all of these awesome, real deal macrame projects
Yeah.
from the 70s, the 80s, mostly the 70s.
If you look at some of these, they're pretty
Yeah,
great.
so there's like plant hangers.
I had those.
There's Barbie projects, which there's a macrame like weight set, which you don't think of macrame yarn and barbells together.
Not often.
You can make them though.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a macrame a doll wearing a huge macrame dress.
Sure. Lots of headpieces.
Yep. Just some weird stuff.
Yeah, I had in my home, it was a very 70s thing because we had I remember very distinctly a giraffe, a monkey, and something else, some other
Nightmare fuel?
jungle animal made of macrame hanging in our kitchen.
Yeah. I remember the plant hangers.
Oh, yeah, we had those too.
And then the pot holders, the little square pot holders. It was like every person's first macrame project.
Yeah, pretty much. So what happened to macrame? Is that what we're trying to get to the bottom of?
Well, the person on Threadbare basically points out what happened to macrame was that the world woke up and realized how weird and off-putting it is for some odd reason and stopped doing it almost altogether.
That's too bad. I could see it making a hipster comeback, though, for sure.
My friend, go on Etsy and
Oh,
type
is it
in
already?
macrame. Oh, yeah.
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 I'm sure someone in Brooklyn, New York right now is walking around with a macrame
macrame
beanie.
tattoo.
Yeah.
You know? Macrame for life.
Good for them.
So that's it. The internet's been rounded up, Chuck. We just did that.
That's right. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week on the Internet Roundup.